Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking more about my depression and anxiety and also my experiences taking Lexapro. So if you guys want to hear about that mess, then keep watching. So if you've watched any of my past videos, you'll know that I talk a lot about depression and anxiety, but I don't know if I've actually gone into really talking about it. I don't know if I've actually described my experiences. So I was diagnosed when I was, I guess, 15. I was diagnosed with smiling depression, which I always was just like, I was so embarrassed to say it for such a long time because it seemed so stupid to me. Like just that term, let alone, like it just sounds like a fake term, you know? And smiling depression just pretty much means that most people wouldn't know that you're depressed if they didn't know you, or even if they do know you. Like, we're just very good at hiding it. And I think that that's such a huge misconception with depression, is that people think that you have to be really melodramatic and like moping around and like just wearing sweats all the time, which I don't know why that's like a thought in my head. I always picture someone with like a hoodie with like a hood up. I don't know. I wear a lot of sweats, so what does that say about me? But yeah, I mean, you really don't, it just goes to show that you don't know what's going on in someone else's head. So like I said, I was diagnosed when I was 15, and this was after my parents' divorce. From what I remember, my mom was pressing me to go to a therapist because I don't really remember why. Like, I don't remember what exactly the reasoning was, like from her point of view. I mean, I don't know if she saw like some like symptoms or something. I don't know, symptoms or something. But anyway, yeah, so I think that they thought that it was because of the divorce. But honestly, like, I felt this way my entire life. With depression and anxiety, at least from how I feel, is I just get really sad out of nowhere. And it just takes such like a heavy toll on you because it's like you almost just don't know what to expect. Like, I think depression mixed with my personality really like messes me up because I'm someone who gets really excited about things. Like, I'll get an idea and I'll harp on it and it's the best idea and like it's just so great and you know, no one can stop me, and I'll think of a million different ways of executing it. And then out of nowhere, I'm just like, that's a terrible idea. It's the worst thing ever. I hate everything. I'll never be able to do that. I'm not good enough. And all these feelings rush in, and it just takes over my life, you know? Another misconception of depression is people are like, well, talk about all the things that you're grateful for. Like, you know, like just think about all those things. It's not about not being grateful. It's that there is something in you that tells you that you're not good enough and that there's no point of you even being here. Like, I think that people don't get it. It has like I am so grateful for everything that I have and for my boyfriend and for everything that is in my life. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given. You know, also to be able to be living my dream, you know, I'm so grateful. It has nothing to do with that. And that just pisses me off. Ugh. But when it comes to the anxiety spectrum for me, it really affects me in so many ways. Like, I'm honestly afraid to like take the train for like long amounts of time. And like, I don't take the train that often. I don't even know why I said that, but I think that's just something that like I think about, like, because it's enclosed and I can't get out. I don't know if that affects anyone else. Like, I know that there's like claustrophobic is like the term for that specific thing, but like my anxiety bases off of, you know, areas like that where I can't get out. Like, it's something that like I'm afraid of. Like, almost like commitment on a certain level, but like not like full on like I know a lot of people who like really can't commit to anything. Like, they're scared of that in itself, which I'm not scared of commitment in a lot of ways, but But another example of anxiety is when it comes to things like that, like you have to be somewhere for a set amount of time. When it comes to like hanging out with friends, not friends that like I'm super close with, that doesn't really bother me. But when it comes to just like spending time with other people, it's something that is so stressful for me. Like I told you before, like I explained in my last video how I don't really like parties or being around a lot of people. Even when it's like a group of like, if we're just going out with another couple, it's still stressful for me because then I like think about everything in like a time period. I'm like, okay, well, I need to be okay for us to get to the restaurant, and then like we eat, so it'll take probably about an hour to eat, and then, you know, then I have to think about like what I'm going to talk about in conversation the entire time. And are we just going home right after dinner? Are we going back to somebody's house? Or is there a bar that someone wants to go to and then we're going there too? Like, I like to like know everything so that like I'm mentally prepared for it, which is stupid if you think about it, because it's like stressing out over anything is just pointless, because I mean, no amount of stressing over something is going to make anything better, you know? I actually find that when I don't know what's going to happen next, it's better because it almost proves your mind wrong. Like, obviously you survive it, it's going to be okay. But it's like not knowing is like something that I struggle with too. That's like a big part of my anxiety. I think the good thing about me is that I know these things about myself, so when I start to go extremes like that in my head, or even when I need to like talk it out and say out loud how I'm feeling, like talk it out with my boyfriend or something like that, like I realize how crazy it sounds, like saying it out loud. Like I get it. Like I know how crazy it sounds out loud, and I know how crazy it is just like to have that feeling in general. Like it just doesn't make sense. But I mean, that's what your brain's telling you to do. Like it's sending a panic signal when there's no panic, you know? I think it's a good thing when you actually realize that there's no real danger. It's just all in your head. I mean, it doesn't really help the situation that much because, I mean, you're going to have that panic no matter what because there's something that's telling you that you should be panicking. But I don't know why it's such a taboo thing to just talk about your feelings, you know? Like, I wish that more people were receptive to you just saying, look, like, I'm feeling like really panicked right now, and like I just almost want to just say it just so that like I can say it out loud and get it out of the way, because that actually helps a lot too. Like I've had both experiences where someone's like, okay, weirdo, and then I've had others where it's actually like looped into a deeper conversation and I've never felt more close with that person, you know? But not everyone's like that. People just think it's like, I feel like a lot of people think that it's like super weird to just like, I don't know, talk about real things, you know? Which I just don't get it. Like, why wouldn't you want to just talk about that? Why wouldn't you just want to talk about my anxiety? Like, I just don't understand. I actually went on Lexapro for a short amount of time because I just didn't really know what to do. It felt like nothing was working for me, which is honestly a lie, because everyone knows that working out and eating healthier helps tremendously. Like it's just almost just as good as medication, which medication is tough because like a big part of me believes that like you can not cure yourself, but like that things can be like done without being on such a strong medicine, especially something that messes with your mind, you know? That's so scary to me. But I was just going through such a low point and I just could not find a way out, and I was like, you know what, let me just try getting help and being on a medication. Let me see if it works, you know, because I don't know, I wasn't sure if there was something that like that I was missing, and maybe like I did need to be medicated and I wasn't. Which, if you do need to be medicated, there are so many different things where some people genuinely need to be on medicine, you know, and that's okay, because there's things that need to balance out your hormones and levels for things. And I think this is a nervous thing. I think that's what it is. But you do need to have your levels balanced and things like that. And medication is sometimes the only answer for that. Like, I get it. I'm not saying, like, that you shouldn't be on medication. I'm just saying, like, from my point of view, like, it just scares me. But like I said, I was going through such a rough time. And I was like, okay, well, I feel like I need to be on medication. Like, it's just, I was starting to, like, freak myself out, you know, with how sad I was getting. I decided to go on Lexapro, and that was a nightmare. Oh my god. I don't know if I just had a bad reaction to just Lexapro in general, which it's funny because after I had all these crazy experiences, I looked it up and other people had experienced that as well. And Wellbutrin, a lot of people liked, but then also there were a lot of negatives. I just feel like everyone has their own experiences with medication, and you just need to find what's right for you. But being on Lexapro scared me so much. Like, I had the most horrendous experiences on it that it really just scared me off from being on medication in general. But yeah, it was terrible. Like, the panic attacks that I would get from being on that was just, like, I can't even describe to you. Like, if you've had panic attacks, you understand, but it literally makes you feel like you're dying and that there's, like, nothing that can be done. Like, you're just, like, you're suffocating, and it's just, like, no one can help you. It's just, ugh. There are so many restaurants that I've had to, like, run out of, you know, and in the middle of, like, being at dinner with people, like, it was kind of embarrassing. And there was actually, I was on it when we had, like, 2 different weddings to go to, and they were my boyfriend's friends. And they were, like, weddings that were kind of close together. They were within, like, a few months of each other. And I was on Lexapro for that period of time. And I had the worst panic attack of my life at the last wedding that we went to. It was just, honestly, it was such a nightmare. I'm gonna, like, start, like, getting really upset, but where I was going with that was, when I feel like I'm going to pass out or have a panic attack, I need to be outside. No matter what it is, I need to be outside. That's that. Like, at one time I was getting my blood taken, and I freaked out and ran outside, and it was like, it was so cold out. This was, like, years ago. I was probably, like, 18 or something like that. But everyone in the waiting room was like, what the fuck? Like, they all, like, came out, and, like, 3 nurses came out because I was, like, I just needed something cold to, like, hold on to, too, because that helps a lot when you're passing out. It just kind of, like, brings you back to life a little bit. But there was, like, a railing and, like, these, I think it was, like, just, like, cement steps, but cement gets, like, really cold. And I just, like, needed to be, like, all cold, you know? So I laid down on the pavement right out front of this place. And all these nurses came out and were like, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, and like, people in the waiting room were, like, looking at me. But I'm telling you, I need to be outside when that happens, no matter what it is, what kind of weather conditions, I don't care. We can be in the middle of, like, a crazy tornado or snowstorm. But it'll make me feel better to just be out there. I'd rather get killed by the snowstorm than pass out. Passing out's, like, the worst feeling ever. Okay, so back to the point of what I was talking about. So we were at this wedding for my boyfriend's friend. My boyfriend's friends were getting married. And so we were at their wedding, and like, I went through the wedding and everything. Like, I was having panic attacks kind of the whole time, but I was able to kind of just, like, I don't know, like, just get over it pretty much, you know? Like, you have to, like, you can't, like, run out, like, during, like, a ceremony or anything in the church, which I got kind of freaked out at one point because I thought I was going to have to do that. That would have been, like, a total nightmare. But I looked up different techniques for when you feel like you're gonna pass out. So I like got through the ceremony with that, and everything was fine. Like the whole like dinner was fine. But then afterward they had I don't know like wedding terms, but like the after party, I guess, like after everything, we went back to the hotel. And everything was just kind of continued in the bar at the hotel. And I started getting my like passing out feeling, which all night, like I had to like run outside when I started to feel that way. Like my boyfriend was like in deep conversation with this one guy, and I was like, oh my god, this is a nightmare, because I didn't want to like interrupt their conversation and sound crazy, but like, so I like kind of like let it go for a little bit and tried to like just like handle myself, and just like I was kind of like pacing slightly, but like I feel like it was still enough that people couldn't tell that there was something wrong. But then it got to this point where I was like, I need to get the hell out of here. Like I just had like such like a need to just move. Like when I get like that panicky feeling, like my like fingers go numb too, and I'm like, I need to run. I need to go for a run. I need to get out of here. I need to like change like everything to like get my mind off of it, you know? So like I must have sounded like completely insane. I didn't even know this guy who he was talking to. And I was just like, I gotta go. I have to leave. Like I have to go do something. Oh, I left something in my room. I need to go. Like I just sounded crazy because I was trying to like get the fuck out of there as fast as I could, but also think of like a genuine excuse that I would need to like get out of there for, you know? And like I literally couldn't even think of anything, so I just sounded like a crazy like babbling idiot. But eventually we got outside, and I was just like, I just kept pacing outside. Like we like walked up the street because I wanted to be far away from everybody, because some of the bridal party was like hanging around outside, and I like just didn't want anyone to like happen to catch us as we were walking out or anything like that. So I kind of like bolted completely like away from everything so that no one could like start a conversation and then we were stuck there again. So I ran up the street, and like I was just pacing, like my heart was racing so bad, like I literally thought I was dying. And like just like eventually you wind up calming down, like it just winds up happening, but like it's after like severe like stress and panic that you put on yourself. Like I'm sure that can just give you a heart attack, let alone, you know, just like being completely out of your head like that. So eventually I calmed down and like I could go back in, but literally all night long, like we would have to go up to the room, go back outside. We'd go up to the room, start to like get ready for bed, and then I'd have to like go outside again. So it was just like, it was a nightmare because we were on like the 5th floor or something like that. So having to take the elevator down every time you were like starting to panic was like the worst. And I was sick at the time as well. I was I think I just had like a cold or something, so I was taking like NyQuil and DayQuil. But like being on medication in general freaks me out. Like being on Lexapro like really was something that I was really stressed out to go on, because it's a strong medication that messes with your head. So when I needed to take anything like for being sick or just any kind of extra pills just in general for anything, I was just like freaking out, because I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be combining things, and then that would go into like a whole other like panic attack, which obviously like you can take like cold medicine with like antidepressants, you know? It's like they know that you're going to get sick and you're going to need to take other things. Like I don't know, but when I get in those ruts, and just that's the way that I am anyway, like I just don't like taking a whole bunch of things at once. But yeah, so that was a nightmare. And we had another wedding, and that was like a similar situation, but that one that I told you about was the absolute worst experience ever. And it's just like, my boyfriend doesn't understand depression in general, or anxiety really for that matter, but he's never had a panic attack or anything like that, so he really just doesn't get it. And like he was annoyed, but he was trying to be like as patient as possible. I mean, I'm sure that was just like a mess, because he didn't want to just leave me to just run outside by myself, you know? We were kind of far from home, and just like some girl, like, you know, walking around at night by herself like isn't safe. So he would just keep coming with me. But I went off Lexapro pretty soon after that experience because that like the panic attacks were just a nightmare. I couldn't really sleep at night. I would get panic attacks as I was starting to fall asleep, and it was just like there were just so many things that were affecting me, and I didn't see a huge difference in it helping with my depression at all. So it kind of felt like, why am I on this? Like, it's just like giving me panic attacks and then not even helping me at all, you know? So I wound up getting off of that. We had a trip to Vegas that we were going to, and also Miami, and both were work trips for my boyfriend. And I wanted to get off of Lexapro before we went and did those because I was so scared to be on a plane and to be states away having these panic attacks and knowing that he was going to be in meetings for most of the day and I was going to be in the hotel room. So I was having like nightmares about that. So I wound up getting off of the Lexapro before we went. And for Lexapro or any depression medication or any medication in general, I feel like you really should wean yourself off of it. It's not healthy to just go like cold turkey. But I remember I gave it, I think, like 2 weeks of just doing like a lower dose, and then I just completely got off of it altogether because time was coming up like closer and closer to when we were gonna go away. So I freaked myself out and wanted to be off of the medication completely for like a whole month before we even did those trips, just in case there were like lingering side effects or anything like that. So yeah, that was kind of a nightmare. You almost go into like withdrawal from that, and it made the panic attacks even worse. But I mean, it was worth it getting off of it. If you're on Lexapro, or if you're on Lexapro, let me know what you think of it, or if you're on another medication, let me know if it's something that helps you out or not, or if you have any horror stories for being on depression medication, because I'm not sure, like I said, I did reviews after I was having all these crazy side effects, because I was like, is this just me, or am I having a bad reaction to it? Like, I kind of just wanted to see what other people were saying, and a lot of people were saying the same thing, but then there were a lot of people who loved it. So, but yeah, like I said, I was too scared to go on anything else after that. It just freaked me out so bad that I was like, no, never again. But I do still have that thought where I'm like, but like maybe it was just like a mistake, but like whatever. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations. But right now, exercise has been working for me more than anything, and also getting up early. Like, Evan and I have started getting up at like 6:45-ish, and honestly, it's helped me out so much, because I think something that really affects me is when I feel like there aren't enough hours in the day. Like, I have so much to do that I can't really get it all done. So I just wind up getting like really like chaotic, and like I just can't like stay focused, and it makes me feel like a failure if I don't get everything done. And also, it's been making me feel a lot better by making lists and really like checking things off as you go, and getting up early really helps with that, because you have so much more time to do these things that you need to get done that like you kind of just wind up putting off towards the end of the day, because you're like, it's not really that important, but it really is. Like, you're just convincing yourself at the time that it's not. So that really helps me out a lot, and drinking a lot of water, which everyone says, but honestly, that's like one of the best things you can do. It really keeps your energy going, and it helps a lot with, like, not that I'm trying to lose weight or anything like that, but it flushes out a lot of toxins and sugar, and like it makes you pee a lot at first. Like, you'll be going to the bathroom like every like 5 minutes, but then your bladder like eventually balances out and just becomes part of everyday life. Alright guys, so that's it for me. I'm not going out tonight, so I don't want to like waste makeup, sorry. But yeah, let me know if there's anything that you do for your depression that helps for you, or depression and anxiety. If you take medication, or if you have like any tips and tricks, I'd love to know. I'm always trying to find out new things. So yeah, definitely comment down below, let me know. And yeah, you guys can subscribe to my channel if you want to. You can also hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Yeah, if there's any other deeper topics that you guys want me to talk about or just go into, definitely let me know. I do struggle with that a little bit, like thinking of like what's interesting, like I don't know. So I'd love to hear what you guys want to hear, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.